big story of the day, and this is coming in from West Asia. It is staring at another dangerous escalation. The United States has launched a third round of military strikes against Iran after accusing Iran of attacking a commercial ship transiting that key waterway, that is the Strait of Hormuz. Now, according to U.S. Central Command, the vessel caught fire, suffered damages, and one civilian crew, we're learning, is currently missing. The ship has been identified as GFS Galaxy. It was struck while passing through the Strait of Hormuz. And now U.S. Central Command has said that it has started a third round of strikes on Iran, on southern part of Iran actually, after accusing IRGC of blatantly attacking a container ship in the Strait of Hormuz. U.S. has also said that Iran has violated the terms of the peace deal as well. And with that, we have a breaking update coming in. In fact, tensions are rising across the Gulf region as Iran has launched missile and drone attacks targeting Qatar, UAE, Jordan. Qatar is reporting intercepting missile attack, and their Ministry of Interior has said that the country's security threat level is very high at this point in time, and it has urged everyone to remain inside their homes and in safe places. Let's also tell you about UAE, that is engaging with missiles and drones from Iran. It has stated that air defense systems are actively engaging with the incoming missiles and drone attacks from Iran. Sirens are also blaring in Bahrain. Their Ministry of Interior has said that air raid sirens have been activated. So that is the latest as far as West Asia is concerned. Trump is saying that the deal is over. Iran is saying that the Hormuz is closed, and now the escalation continues. In the latest, we are learning that tensions are rising across Gulf as Iran has launched multiple missiles and drone attacks targeting several of the Gulf countries there. Let me get you more perspective on this and go across to our consulting editor, Srinjoy Chaudhary. Good morning, Srinjoy. We are witnessing what we have witnessed over the last 4-5 months. Every time US bombs Iran, and at this point in time we are learning that a southern part of Iran has come under target, they have retaliated and hit out at the Gulf countries, including Qatar, UAE and Jordan at this point in time. Sirens are also blaring in Bahrain as well.
Another round of death and destruction really begins. Now we have to see where this will lead to. What will happen next? Will America decide that they will again have a naval blockade? If that happens, then we are really back to square one. As far as the Gulf states are concerned, it must be said that many of them hopefully have had more air defense systems in place, because they were attacked several times. Even refineries in Bahrain and Saudi Arabia were attacked. So if they have better air defense systems and more of them, more of the missiles and drones will be shot down. Now, it's very well known that however good your missile defense system is, one or two will go through. Even if you shoot down 90%, maybe 95%, the other 5%, the other 10% will go through. Now that will inevitably cause destruction. So let's hope very little destruction happens as a result of these attacks on countries which have US bases. As far as Iran is concerned, despite all this fighting for 40 days, they still clearly have missiles and drones. And it's actually easy to weaponize the Strait of Hormuz.
All right.
All you have to do is hit one ship, whether it's with a drone, whether it's with a shoulder-fire missile. What happens then is, if you're a captain or if you are a head of a shipping company, would you send your ship, very expensive ship, carrying very expensive cargo, and of course there are lots of sailors on the ship. Would you send the ship through the Strait of Hormuz? The chance is usually no. So this is going to lead to problems in the Gulf, and many countries in Asia and Europe, including India, will face serious problems in the future.
Absolutely, because this causes problem not just for the Gulf countries, Iran and US, but but also other countries, including India. So it remains to be seen how this pans out in the coming hours, and hopefully there is no escalation in the coming hours. Is something that is expected. Stay on with us, Rinjoy. I'll come back to you once again. Let's widen the frame and tell you more about what has happened in the last few hours. Let me firstly take you through what US Central Command has said as far as the attack on a commercial ship by Iran is concerned. They have said that today US Central Command started launching the third round of strikes this week against Iran after IRGC blatantly attacked GFS Galaxy, a Cyprus flag container ship transiting the Strait of Hormuz. A civilian crew member is currently missing. It goes on to say that Iran was provided yet another opportunity to show adherence to the MOU, the peace deal that was signed between the two countries just last month, after being held accountable for earlier attacks on the commercial vessels. But it has once again failed, is what US Central Command has said, going on to say that in response now they have hit out on the southern part of Iran. And now also a reaction coming in from Pete Hegseth. He said that Iran has made a poor choice. Now they will have to pay. And in the latest, we are witnessing attacks on the southern part of Iran, especially on the important areas facing the Strait of Hormuz, because that remains the point of contention between the two countries. Now, Iran is sending mixed signals. On one hand, Tehran is accusing the US of increasing tensions and breaking earlier understandings. On the other, reports are stating that some Iranian officials have told US that they still want to talk with them, and the attacks on the commercial ships in the Strait of Hormuz, they may have been carried out by a rogue Revolutionary Guard faction. But at the same time, Iran's Navy has sharply raised the stakes by announcing that the Strait of Hormuz at this point in time, it remains closed, and also warning of a strong retaliation if the US takes any further action on this. And with that, we have another breaking update coming in from Iran. We are learning that IRGC-linked Iranian media has claimed that missiles struck targets in Qatar and UAE, with reports of explosions near the US military bases. The claims have not been verified, but that is the claim that is coming from the Iranian media. They're saying that they launched missiles towards Qatar, UAE and other countries as well, and they have hit the targets as well. There were reports of explosions. Let me once again bring in Srinjoy on this. Srinjoy, that is a claim that is coming from Iran. They're saying that they've hit the targets. The targets have been hit as well. There were explosions as well. What more are we learning about the impact of these attacks in the Gulf countries, mainly if it comes to UAE? Because last month as well, Iran attacked the Gulf countries, but UAE was not attacked. But at this point in time, we're learning that their defense systems are intercepting missiles and drone attack from Iran. What is the latest you're learning from there?
Well, there are bound to be explosions. When an anti-missile system intercepts an incoming missile or drone, there will be an explosion. The important thing to see is how many of them were intercepted. Were all of them intercepted? Were most of them intercepted? So if that happens, then the chances of damage is much less. So that's something that has to be checked, and it will be important for the Gulf states to actually say, okay, this is the damage that has been caused. Because it's very important that there is a minimal damage in the Gulf states. There are lots of people living there. They've been caught in the middle, in a sense, in this fight between Iran on one side and America and Israel on the other side. And let's not forget, there are 9 million Indians in the area. 9 million Indians is a lot of people, and they are earning a living, they're sending money home, and this is the area from where India gets at least 20% of its energy supplies. So it's a big issue for India, it's a big concern for India. India has always said it wants peace, it wants dialogue, it wants diplomacy, and that should happen as soon as possible. Because the more escalation you have, the more trouble there will be, not just for all these countries involved in the fighting,
but also for India as well, because we are witnessing another round of escalation along Iran's southern coast at this point in time. Stay on with us, Srinjoy. I'll come back to you once again. Let me take our viewers to what has happened over the last 1 to 2 hours, there are reports of explosions in several cities across at least 3 provinces there in Iran. Let's first tell you about Bushehr, as you can see right here. Now, that is quite important because it has the nuclear power plant. There has been no effect or confirmation of any damage as far as that particular facility is concerned. But in the last 1 to 2 hours, Bushehr has been hit by the United States. Let's now tell you about Bandar Abbas, Sirik and Jizak. They have also come under attack, and they are quite important because they overlook the Strait of Hormuz. That is also a key waterway that is in fact under the point of contention. So these areas have come under attack, and the latest is what we are learning. And most importantly, the areas near the Strait of Hormuz, they are the main target, is what we are learning so far. In fact, let me take you through what Donald Trump has said so far. Just late last night, he had mentioned that 1,000 missiles are locked and loaded and aimed at the Islamic Republic of Iran, with thousands of more to immediately follow should the Iranian government act on the threat pronounced in many corners of the globe to assassinate or attempt to assassinate the sitting president of the United States of America, in this case, me, because Donald Trump in the last few hours, days, has been saying that he is the #1 target of the Iranian government. Orders have already been given, and in fact, the U.S. military is ready, willing, able for 1 year period of time, subject to extension, to completely decimate and destroy all areas of Iran. Praise be to Allah. And this is what Donald Trump has mentioned, that if there's any attempt to assassinate him, the sitting president of the United States of America, then he will decimate and destroys all the areas of Iran. So that is the latest we're learning as far as threat by Donald Trump is concerned, saying that 1,000 of the missiles are locked and loaded and ready to shoot towards Iran. Now, these updates carry enormous global consequences because nearly 1/5 of the world's seaborne oil trade passes through the Strait of Hormuz, and that is the point of contention. Any sustained disruption could send global crude prices soaring, disrupt the energy supplies, impact inflation as it has over the last few months, and create fresh uncertainty for the economics already battling geopolitical shocks. For now, diplomacy has appeared to be running parallel to military escalation. US has insisted that it is protecting freedom of navigation. Iran has said that it wants negotiation but continues to threaten retaliation while keeping the Hormuz shut. So that is a big announcement that has been made by Iran at this point in time. They're saying that they are shutting down the Strait of Hormuz once again. Now, as missiles fly, explosion continues not just in Iran but in the Gulf countries as well, and commercial shipping faces renewed danger. The world is watching one of the most critical choke point edge closer to a wider regional conflict.